Scene 1, The War on Scientific Freedom. Montage of historical and modern academic censurers. Text overlay, wisdom or compliance? Slowly, we zoom into Donald W. Braben's classic work, Scientific Freedom, The Elixir of Civilization. Graphic overlays show current peer-review charts, funding metrics, and corporate editorial offices with giant red clocks. Dramatic, heavy synth bass beat, dropping into a deep, atmospheric hum representing systematic academic oppression. Is science under siege? If you watch mainstream media documentaries like The War on Science, they'll tell you that academic freedom is threatened by culture wars, public mistrust, or funding cuts. But there is a much deeper, more insidious warfare taking place inside the research community itself, the systemic destruction of the unconventional thinker. In his landmark book, Scientific Freedom, Donald Braben argued that true scientific progress depends entirely on protecting unconstrained, high-yield, individual research. Yet, today's scientific consensus has established an autocratic gatekeeping structure. They don't ban books at the stake anymore. Today, they censor through bureaucratic peer review, anonymous rejections, and the absolute demand for circular, neutral, and complicit politeness. Scene 2, The Criterion of Refinement and Cowardice. Clean display split on screen. Left, the polite scholar, refinement, represented by a cartoon mask smiling but hollow. Right, the edge of truth represented by a sharp, glowing geometric scalpel cutting through complex waves. Text on screen, manners is not equal to correctness. Sudden, clinical static sound, transitioning into an intellectual violin melody. The mainstream consensus of the academic establishment operates on a highly comfortable bias. They believe that if you express your ideas with intense certitude, sharp edges, or aggressive critique, you must be a radical, unconsidered eccentric, or simple troublemaker. They value what they call refinement, the habit of circular, non-committal roundness, of balancing every perspective, of never taking a sharp, absolute stand. In Chinese academic circles, this is called having high stature, or doing things smoothly. But let us be clear, this polite refinement is often just a mask for corporate cowardice. It is how scientists stay comfortable while funding incorrect research pathways for decades. Consider the Harvard cardiologist Piero Anversa, who published dozens of papers fabricating cardiac stem cell data. Co-scholars knew the biology was flawed, but as the New York Times revealed, experts were just too timid to take a stand. When politeness is valued over physical truth, science decays from a search for reality into a mutual protection society. Scene 3, Invariant truths have edges. Bold equations slam onto the screen. 1. Delta S greater than or equal to 0, Second Law of Thermodynamics, perpetual motion is impossible. 2. Classic impedance matching has a category error, wave mechanics is invariant. Loud, explosive wave synthesis beats, signifying undeniable physical logic. The laws of physics do not have manners. They do not seek a polite compromise with social expectations. Certain physical truths are absolute, uncompromising, and must be stated in extremes. For instance, a perpetual motion machine can absolutely never be built. This is an extreme statement. It leaves no room for diplomatic nuances or circular negotiations. It is dictated by the Second Law of Thermodynamics, which stands as an eternal, invariant truth of nature. In microwave physics, the wave mechanics of absorption at metal boundaries is absolutely correct, while the half-century impedance matching theory is fundamentally flawed. To try to balance these two views or find a cozy, middle-of-the-road compromise is not polite behavior. It is active fraud. Truth has sharp edges. To grind them down in the name of academic etiquette is to replace science with alchemy. Scene 4, The Hypocrisy of Comprehensive Scorecards. A digital checklist sheet floating across, being graded 95%, excellent format, null novelty, with red stamps. Nearby, an unorthodox, raw, handwritten manuscript with an intense idea gets stamped with a big red rejected. Rapid mechanical stamping sound effects. How did academia become so flat? It is because modern journals are run on corporate bookkeeper models. Reviewers use what they call comprehensive scorecards to grade papers. They average out everything: word count, style, sample sizes, bibliographic alignment, and formatting conformity. This averaging systematically grinds away any edge, personality, or genius. The result is what Elon Musk famously identified: over 95% of published SCI papers are essentially professional garbage. They contain zero new ideas. They are immaculate zombie reports, built on template data mills. Conversely, a true breakthrough paper is often raw. It might have minor, restorable blemishes, linguistic awkwardness, formatting oversight, or even AI assistance footnotes from international authors struggling with English. Yet, the establishment will reject the raw breakthrough for a formatting typo while publishing the flawless, high-scoring Water report. This is the supreme hypocrisy of modern peer review. Scene 5, The Honest Data Principle. A microscope view of cellular graphics turning into code blocks. Zoom out to show a clean ledger of raw data logs versus a copy-pasted Photoshop image with brightness filters. Low, critical, warning base drop. But let us draw a clear line. While we must tolerate and actively restore cosmetic formatting and tone errors, we must maintain an absolute, zero-tolerance policy against data falsification. Why? Because a valuable, authentic new theory can only be born from confronting the raw, stubborn resistance of physical reality. If you fabricate your data, if copy-paste Western blots or copy-paste SEM structures, you are no longer interacting with nature. You are interacting with your own career expectations. A fabricated dataset can never yield a valuable new scientific thought. Therefore, those who falsify data are academic criminals. But those who bring forward sharp, innovative theories, regardless of how intense their tone or raw their spelling, are the true lifeblood of science. Scene 6, Conclusion, Reclaiming the Cognitive Rebel. It is time to choose. Do we want a scientific community of polite courtiers polishing high-scoring garbage, or do we want a community of courageous scholars searching for physical truth? We must support scientific freedom, which means we must oppose the bureaucratic gatekeeping that silences dissenters in the name of decorum. Read Dr. Yulu's complete critical essays on Substack, watch our videos, explore our academic critique hub, and join us in reclaiming the sharp, uncompromising edge of scientific inquiry. Let us stop policing tone and start verifying logic. Thank you for watching.